Okay, so before I really get into the nitty and gritty of this video, I just want to say that it's not a call for help or anything. Like, I just want to address like how I feel about like the whole dating market nowadays. Like, and I don't want to be negative or anything. I just want to like address it and just be like, okay, here's how I feel as like someone who's more introverted and less outgoing and stuff like that. So I just wanted to make that disclaimer before I started talking. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, the dating just seems off nowadays because it's like I'm not like the type of guy who like, oh, I've never had a girlfriend before or anything. I guess I haven't had many girlfriends. I've only had one before, in high school and stuff. I met her through like sports and stuff like that. We had like a relationship for a little while, but I don't know. It just excuse me. It just feels like it was different back then. You know what I mean? Because nowadays we have like the apps and like everything like that. Because I mean, I just like talking about the apps more in depth. It's like you're almost programmed in the apps to fail, right? Because you come in and you have to have like super good pictures to like really get the appeal of women. And even then it's like there's more women or excuse me, men on the platform than there is women, right? So you're already at a disadvantage there. So there's less options for you as the man and more options for the women, you know? Um, and the other thing too is that statistically, like you can look this up and check it. Like I heard this from somewhere. Like you're gonna have to fact check me on this one, but based on what I understand, most men find 70%, 70 to 80% of women like at least somewhat attractive, right? But for the women, 85% of them like at face value find men unattractive. So it's like a complete like flip-flop between those two. And so it's like you have that disadvantage where you're probably going to be found um, unattractive by 85% of women already, and then there's less women on the app and more men to begin with, and you have to have super good quality pictures and stuff. So it's like it's like you almost have to like go and get like a photographer and stuff literally to like take your pictures and stuff. Like it has to be insane quality and stuff, and I don't know, you just and then the other thing too is like the way that they set up like the algorithm and stuff like that. Because like again, this is something that I don't know for sure, but it would make sense to me like in terms of like dating and stuff. Because like the other thing too is like the dudes who are actually doing good on the dating apps, which I've known a couple of those guys, like they don't understand how most dudes don't really get that many matches, like even if we do have like pretty decent pictures, and it just doesn't make any sense. Or whatever. And so there's this thing where with the algorithm, where the more that you swipe, the less they're gonna push you out because the more desperate you seem. Like I saw this video on it one time, which may or may not be true, but it would make sense a little bit because they do want to make you pay. Like they make you pay nowadays to swipe more because you get a certain amount of swipes a day or every 12 hours or whatever. And so on these dating apps, you're almost like so like they want you to keep coming back, obviously, because they're a business, they're a company, they want to make money off of you. So it's like on these dating apps, you are not only meant to fail in terms of like the actual population of women that you get access to, the actual algorithm itself, but then also just the native nature of like how dating apps work and how good of quality your profile and your pictures have to be. So for most dudes, that's like not being negative or not being like a victim, but that's just not attainable for most guys. Like most ordinary normal dudes. You know what I mean? Like, which is completely fine, and there's nothing wrong with them as a person, but it's just saying like most dudes don't even have a chance because of all those factors. So then what do? You kind of go and you maybe go to the bar, right? Or something, or go to like a, social gathering. But now like all these women on social media have a problem with you cold approaching them or approaching them in public settings, right? Like you see all these videos of these women like don't approach me, uh, yada yada yada, And it just doesn't make any sense because there's half the women saying, "Hey, you should approach me, please do this." Like men are not doing that enough, but then there's the women who are saying not to do it, like the over dramatic ones. Because I'm not saying that all women are like that. Sometimes social media makes it feel like that, like it makes it feel like all women are like that, but that's not the truth. Social media just shows the most negative stuff because that's how it gets clicks, that's how they get views, that's how they get money. Like unfortunately, like positive stuff does not do as good as the negative stuff. um but it's hard because you see videos like that and you're like, well, do I really want to risk like getting in trouble or making my life harder in some circumstance? Like you hear these awful stories of innocent men being convicted of rape charges that they didn't do, and then the women like saying that they didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like whether those are true or not. I mean some of them are definitely true, some of them are probably not real, but there's definitely like a couple of those instances for sure that happened. And so as a dude nowadays, it's like you see that and you're like, well, do I really want to? And then like the standards of everything are just really high. Like everybody's standards are super high. Like everybody wants like the perfect like for men and women. Like women want 6 foot tall. The 666 rule, right? They want the 6 foot tall. Uh, 6 figure salary and then 6 inch. I'm not gonna finish that, but you know what I mean there. And then the dudes want like like the you know the the body parts, so to speak, trying to be appropriate, like the some large sexual organs, I guess I could say, in an appropriate context. Um, and then they want like slim, like super skinny, and like super pretty and stuff like that. And so it's just like, and then dudes always talk about how they want like virgins and stuff like that, when like only 1 or 2% of women are actually virgins or whatever. And it's like you can't have all of that. You know what I mean? Like both, it feels like both women and men have super high standards, and it's just like, how about we just all come together and just relax and just find someone that we resonate with, regardless of like who they really are. Like I'm not saying that I'm not saying like if you're not into like certain people or races or whatever, like that's not your preference. Like I'm not saying like to just be like inclusive like some people say or whatever. But at the same time, it's like everybody has a dream, you know, a dream soulmate. But at the same time, that's part of life, is coming together and realizing like, okay, this person is pretty enough, good enough, spiritually sound enough, and I can find joy with this person. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't really like do as much nowadays. They're just looking for like the perfect, like both men and women are just looking for like the perfect soulmate, and it's like that's just not realistic. Or it's not even guaranteed to make you happy or fulfilled. It's just like nothing, none of that is guaranteed. You just want that. So it's like, I don't know, but that was kind of a tangent. But yeah, the other thing about dating is like you go to like the bars or like the social gatherings or whatever the heck. Like I'll talk about bars in specific because I have more like experience with that. You go to the bar and you talk to a girl, and number one, she's probably intoxicated and doesn't even really understand what you're saying or who you are or what's going on around her. And number two, she can't even hear you because it's so loud in there. And then she'll wake up the next day and she's like, who even is this guy? Like, so it's like you can't even really find a meaningful connection, in that type of environment because of the different variables that are there. Like you can't talk to them because they're not listening to you because they're intoxicated. You know, it's super loud in there. And also the thing is that just the type of people that go to a bar, like I don't like, it's not like again, it's not bad if you go to the bar. Like I go to the bar, and I don't feel like I'm not with the whole like hookup culture thing. um, but that's kind of what the bar kind of is you go there and you talk to someone and you try to charm your way through enough, and then you take them home and you sleep with them. Like you don't like like that's not something that I am a fan of at all. I do not stand with that whole motive, but that's what most people go to the bar to do, is to get like super intoxicated and listen to the music and then maybe find someone to go home with at the night that they're not at all interested in pursuing a relationship with, because the other thing about like people look better when you're intoxicated, right? So it's like that's not a good place to find someone, And then going back a little bit, like I don't want to like beat a dead horse, but going back to the whole cold approach thing, like like regardless of if women like want you to cold approach them or not, it just feels not right to do. Like it just feels weird. Like cold approaching someone in like a Walmart or a Target or something, it just feels like yeah, it feels like you're trying too hard. You know what I mean? And that's just not for me personally who I am. Like I'm not the type of person to be outgoing and talk to a lot of people and stuff like that and just go out of my way to talk to someone because maybe I find them attractive. That's just not who I am. So I don't think that's a very good way to approach it, because it's like you're going in being someone that you're not. You know what I mean? Because she might think that you're outgoing or super extroverted by doing that, and that's not who you are. So you're off the bat kind of giving them a false sense of who you are, which is obviously not super good to do. Because first impressions do matter, even if we don't necessarily think that or want them to. Scientifically, they do matter. You know what I mean? So whoever people see you as, like when they're first trying to get to know you, it's hard for them to let go of that. When it's hard for them to let go of that when you really get to know them. Like they still see you like as the person they met you as versus the person that you are now. Similar to like when parents like always say like, oh well, you're still the kid that you were when you were like a little kid. Like my parents are like, oh well, you're still that that 2, 3, 4 year old kid or whatever that I knew. It's like which I think that's pretty common among parents. Like that's how it is in like normal relationships too. They still see you as the same person even if you have changed or grown. um, so yeah, it just the whole dating thing just doesn't make any sense, and it's really hard for people like me who like aren't super outgoing, because people will tell you like, oh well, it'll come, and um, it'll come, and you don't force it, this and that, which I agree with that, but at the same time, like I don't things in this life don't just happen, you know, like things in this life don't just happen. You have to like make them happen. Like, should you be like super duper overly obsessed about them and stuff like that? No. Like honestly, that'll probably push it away more so. But if you want to have something, you have to take actions for the most part to get that thing. So because like when I had my previous relationship, it didn't just happen. Like I met this girl like on my team, and then because we were on like the cross country team or whatever, and I met this girl on my team, and I slowly kind of got to know her a little bit, but it was intentional. It was like I was just slowly trying to get to know her and like hang out with her and stuff like that until we decided to engage in a relationship. But even then it didn't just happen, Like I had to go out and make it happen. So um I don't know, it just feels weird. And like obviously like I go to work and everything like a normal person. There's tons of people there, but it's like I don't know if that's necessarily an appropriate place either, because it's like they're just there trying to work and stuff, and like it's just the thing where it's like, okay, maybe you should try to talk to them more or like stuff like that, but at the same time it's like it's really not super, like, what's the word, it's not super, like, I don't know how acceptable it really is unless you know that the person likes you, because like girls give off like little tiny signs they like you, right? But unless you like know that there's a good chance that they're into you, like I don't know how like good of an idea it is, because it's like you go to work and then it's like, well, if the feelings are not mutual, then it's like you have to be there for the rest of eternity. It's just kind of awkward and weird or whatever. I don't know. And like I definitely am overthinking a lot of it, like because I'm just naturally like an overthinker. That's just how I kind of am, you know. So I am overthinking it, like in that sense. But I mean, kind of what I'm trying to get at is that it just doesn't like it almost just doesn't feel like appropriate anymore to do it the way that people used to do it. You know what I mean? Like um it doesn't feel appropriate to just go up and approach people like people used to and stuff like that. And the dynamics have changed, and then there's like the whole thing with like the talking phase too. It's like why can't we just go on a date like people used to? Like why do I have to sit here and talk to you on over text message or Snapchat or whatever for weeks on end just for you to ghost me? You know, there's just the whole dating dynamic nowadays just seems off, and it just seems like it just doesn't make any sense, and I'm not sure like I don't how do people actually make it work nowadays? Like cuz to me all the people who are in good relationships like that I've seen are people who have been like in relationships like since they were like younger, you know, like not now. So it's just like really weird, and I don't know, dude. It's just very confusing. And like I hate to use this word, but like sometimes it almost seems a little hopeless, you know, of the dating apps and the bars and the stuff, and it's like because those are the appropriate places, right? Or used to be at least, like to engage in that. It's like you go there and you want to talk to women because and like kind of see it, but for what it is. But it's like for people who are super serious and trying to actually find their soulmate, it's like it's not like in most cases you're not going to find that there, like people are just trying to hook up or find short-term things to so they don't feel lonely or whatever. It's like no one wants to be serious, no one wants to commit nowadays. So but I think I've pretty much gotten my point out there. This video's gotten pretty long, so if you like the video, like it, subscribe, whatever for more. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you have anything that you would like to say about anything that I've said in this video, feel free to drop a comment about it. I read all my comments and I enjoy the comments that I get. So yeah, thank you for watching.